it says we are going to solve these equations by graphing. Remember, we have three possible outcomes: a coordinate point, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Okay? All right, so we need to graph them, which means they need to be in y equals mx plus b form. Are these equations in that form right now? No, so we're going to have to do some rearranging. So for this first equation, we have x plus y equals 9. What could I do to fix that? Subtract the x. Very good. So now I have y is equal to, can we actually subtract x from 9? No. So leave them separate. Negative x plus 9. Okay? So now this one's ready to graph, right? Where does it start at? Very good. And where do I move to get my next point? Down 1 and over 1. Very good. Let's see. All right, so there's our first one. Okay. Is that second equation ready to graph? No. So what do we need to move first? The x. Very good. We're going to add x to both sides. So then I'll have 2y equals, can we actually add 6 and x? So we leave them separate, x plus 6. All right, then what should we do? Divide everything by 2. Very good. All right. So what's that secret number in front of x? A 1. So I have 1/2 x plus, what's 6 divided by 2? Very good. Alright, so now it's ready to graph. So where is it going to start at? 3, very good. And I'm going to go where? Very good. Alright, so did our two lines cross? Yeah, where do they cross at? What coordinate point did they touch? Very good. Good job. Okay, also just a reminder, you can do this in your calculator as well. So you would take these two equations that we came up with and put them in y1 and y2 in your calculator. So let's double check our answer that way. I'm going to go to y equals, in y1, we'll put our first equation that we came up with, which was negative x plus 9. And in y2, we'll put that second equation, which was 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, so once you have them both typed in, we just hit graph. And it looks just like what we plotted on the grid, right? Remember, to get the calculator to find the coordinate point for you, you press second, trace, number 5. Press enter 3 times, and it tells us the coordinate point 4, 5 is our answer. So we can do it that way too. Okay? All right, so let's see here. All right, number 2. On number 2, is the first equation ready to graph? Yes. Okay, so where does it start at? Good. And where do I go for my next point? Good. Okay. Is the second equation ready to graph? No. Okay. So what do I need to move for that second equation to work? Move the 6x, good. But just like before, we can't actually subtract the 6x, so we're going to leave these two pieces separate. Negative 6x and negative 12. Then what should we do? Negative 2, very good. positive 6 divided by negative 2. 3, very good. And negative 12 divided by negative 2? Good. Alright. So where does this one start at? Positive 6, good. And where do I go for my next point? Good. Okay. So are my lines ever going to cross? No. So what does that mean my answer is? No solution. Very good. Remember, my answer will always be no solution if they have the same slope, right? That's what makes them parallel. Good job. And remember, you can always double check these in the calculator to graph them there and see what they look like. Good job. Okay. Flip it over onto the back. And we're going to do 2 questions solving by substitution, so the one we were practicing yesterday, okay? All right, so remember, when we are solving by substitution, our first step is we need to get a letter all by itself. Do I have any letters by itself right now? No. Well, they're not all by themselves just yet, right? We want them on one side of the equal sign. Now, you can pick what letter you want to get by itself. Remember, we always look for the letter that's going to be easiest. In this case, we have several letters that would be pretty easy. So what do you guys think? You want to do the first equation or the second equation? The first one? Okay. So in the first equation, what would be easiest to get by itself? The y. Okay. So I'm going to have y minus 2x is equal to negative 17. And if I want to get the y by itself, what am I going to do? Add the 2x. Alright, so now I have y equals, we can't actually put them together, right? So just 2x minus 17. Okay, so now that I know what y is, what am I going to do with it? Right, plug it in to that other equation. Alright, so I start rewriting that equation. How does it start out? We replace the y, very good, with that 2x minus 17. And then how does it end? Very good. All right, so before we start moving stuff side to side, remember we put together anything we can. Do we have anything we can put together? Yeah, those x's, right? So what is x plus 2x? 3x. Okay. All right, so then what should we do? Add 17. Oops. All right, and what is 16 plus 17? 3. Okay. And then what should we do? Divide. We end up with x is 11. Okay. All right. So once I have found x, then what do I do? All right, I'm going to take this and go plug it in somewhere. It doesn't matter which one. You guys want to use top or bottom? Bottom, okay. So I'm going to plug it into this equation. So instead of x, we're going to put in, right, plus y equals 16. So what am I going to do to get y by itself? Subtract. And what is 16 minus 11? 5. Good. All right, and then my last step is to write it as a coordinate point, right? So what's my coordinate point going to be? Good. Good job. Didn't even move it all. There we go. All right, last one. Okay, on that next equation, is there a letter all by itself? No. What letter looks like it's probably going to be the easiest to get by itself? The a in the second equation, right? Okay. So we got a plus 3b equals negative 7. What am I going to do to get a by itself? Subtract 3b. Very good. So a is equal to, we can't actually put them together, right? And now do we have a letter by itself? Yeah. So what am I going to do with that negative 3b minus 7?
Plug it into 4b.
Right. Take it and plug it into the equation that we didn't use. So that's going to be the top one this time. All right, so we got 2 times, what did we say A is? Very good. And then what comes after that? Very good. All right, so what are we going to do first? Distribute, right, multiply. So what is 2 times negative 3b? Good. And 2 times negative 7? And then we still have a minus 4b equals 6, right? Okay, so remember, before we start moving stuff, is there anything we can put together? Yes, what can we put together? Very good. So what is negative 6b minus 4b? Negative 10b, good. So I got negative 10b minus 14 equals 6. Then what should we do? Good. Okay, and what is 6 plus 14? Very good. And what's my last step? Divide. So we end up with b is equal to, nice. Okay, and now that I know what b is, what am I going to do? Plug it in. So do you guys want to use the first equation or the second equation over there? The first? Okay. All right, so in the top, we've got 2a minus 4 times, what am I going to replace b with? Negative 2 equals 6. All right, so what am I going to do first? Good. So what is negative 4 times negative 2? Good. Then what should we do? Good. So 2a equals, what is 6 minus 8? Nice. Therefore, a must be, very good. We divide by that 2 and we do get negative 1. All right. So then the last thing I have to do is write it as a coordinate point. Which one am I going to put first? Right. Alphabetical order. So negative 1,